everybody. Today I am visiting the site of St Finbarr. Now St Finbarr has very little to do with Columbanus, except that he was a contemporary of his. He is one of the founding saints of Ireland, and where I am at the moment is a place called Gougane Barra, which is where he had his cell, and he went on to become the Bishop of Cork and also travelled across Europe and visited the Pope in Rome before coming back and settling in Cork and around Cork, where he created places of learning in Southern Ireland. So I'm in a very beautiful place now. I'm going to do a pan around so that you can see what it looks like. We've got some beautiful hills, and just coming into view now is a island where he started up his community, and you can see in the distance there, and I'll have a go at trying to zoom in on that. Here you just see the sign. It says it's a cycle ride, but part of a cycle route to Gougane Barra is behind me, and then I'm going to be heading up the path here. So here I am walking along the trail heading into the hills. Just off the path here is a little stream that's coming down the side of the mountain. It looks incredibly pretty. As I pan back a little bit, you can see, and I'd love to climb up one of those, but I'm told you can't, so there you go. It was a nice thought while it lasted. I'm surrounded now by lumps of granite that just stick up out of the ground, and in the distance you can see some dry stone walls which enclosed it for some sheep, and some of the bits of granite are quite substantial. There's gorse and heather, you can see there, and again back into the distance the sides of the hills. They're not quite mountains, but just steep, rugged hills. And I'm going to be heading down now to look at Finbarr's cell. Passing a little bit more of boggy ground with bits of granite stuck out of it again. And you can see this is why you don't go off-road in this sort of area. I'm standing here by the lake, by the Finbarr Oratorio and Finbarr's cell, which I'm going to see if I can get into. And as I come here to study and to reflect, life goes on behind me. The little chapel oratorio of St Finbarr is full to capacity and overflowing as the guests who weren't able to get in stand around the outside waiting for the service to finish. I'm in front now of the cells of two of the monks of Finbarr's community here on the island at Gougane Barra. Above each of the cells there are stations of the cross, and you've got to remember this was in the 6th century, or 5th century in fact, about middle of the 500s, and it wasn't a monastery as we would understand it, with high walls and kitchens and all of that. Each of these monks would have had their own cell, which they basically lived in and prayed in, and this was their life. Behind me is the cross of St Finbarr. You can see there, just towering above me. and all around me are these cells of the community that was here 1500 years ago. It's a lot more basic than the sort of community I think that Columbanus would have lived in up in the north in Bangor. His was a place of study and of learning, and this was a place of contemplation with the beauty of the surrounding countryside and just to be close to God. But he didn't stay here. He went across Europe to visit the Pope, which a journey on foot which could have taken anything up to a year in each way, and came back and set up a community in what we now know as Cork. Again, a community of learning and of study, and the university has its motto is from St Finbarr, which I'll let you look up yourself because can't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's really interesting just sitting here and being at the foot of the cross, surrounded by these mountains and the beauty of this place. As I walk around the outside of the cells of St Finbarr, you can get some idea of the beauty and the scale of this place with the trees that surround it. I'm standing here on the edge of the lake at Gougane Barra. You can see the majesty of the mountains in front of me and the beauty of the water as the sun and the light reflects off it.